It's Marley from the Energy Boutique bringing you your September energy forecast. So coming into September, we are deep into Virgo season, which has you a little bit frustrated, having to slow things up, really kind of put a pause on your progress and make you kind of focus in on the smaller details, on what needs to be done in your day-to-day life to have the kind of foundation, the practice needed in order to actually see the new ideas become successful. Now, granted, you're a little bit challenged here because, again, Jupiter is retrograde in your sign, which means that you're not as able to make as much growth and improvement as you would like to see in your physical realm because you've been stalled out. Now you got to do the inner work needed in order to recalibrate yourself with your understanding, with your challenges, with your obstacles that many of my Aries friends jumped into, tried to make happen around their birthday, and then met a lot of obstacles and roadblocks. Now, with Jupiter retrograde in your sign, we're really having to reflect back on what we should have done differently, what we need to redo, rework, readjust to as far as bringing some of our dreams to life. So being in Virgo season means that you're likely feeling a lot of frustration. You're likely irritated right to the nines. You're likely having to clean up the mess of the past, old topics and themes and situations coming up, and we're not even in retrograde season, Mercury retrograde season as of yet. So on the 5th, we have Venus moving into Virgo energy. This again is going to really kind of slow you down and really kind of pump the brakes on your progress because you have to focus on your own health and wellness. I feel many of my Aries friends are so eager to kind of jump into new things and initiate new experiences and begin new chapters that they're not operating from a grounded wholeness point. Venus being into Virgo gets us very logical, very practical with what it is that we value, what is worthy and who is worthy of our time, our energy, our efforts. But we also have to make sure that the physical body is as healthy as possible. This is going to have us very focused on new diets, new exercise routines, making the time to balance the scales between our mind, our body, our soul. Venus being in Virgo is highlighting the 6th house that Virgo naturally rules over, which means that there's more of a focus on what it is that we have control over in the here and now, in our day-to-day life, in our routines, in our tasks, in our chores, and in our mental health. What is it that we're actually focused on? Because many of my Aries friends tends to jump into things without a strategy, without a plan, and then wonder why they get burnt out and never are able to actually bring to life the dreams and the visions that they set out to accomplish. Venus and Virgo, I'm going to slow us down a peg. Venus and Virgo wants us to get logical and practical with the strategy that we need to take to not only see our dreams come to life, but to make sure that we're physically healthy and happy and able to handle the kind of energy, the kind of obstacles and challenges that will be coming at us in trying to manifest some of the elements of our dreams and visions. Now on September 9th, this is when Mercury actually does go retrograde in Libran energy, which will be affecting your 7th house that Libra naturally rules over, which is your partnership, which is relationships with how it is you're sharing yourself with the rest of the world. Now, Mercury going retrograde in Libra will slow us down. We are having to look back. There isn't much effort in building the future. We have to learn from the past. Now, many of my Aries friends are trying to kind of set out and begin new chapters, especially where relationships are concerned, new levels of committed relationships or new relationships altogether. And Mercury going retrograde in Libra is going to have some exes come out of the woodwork, some past relationship issues come out from underneath the rug, some skeletons that will fall out of the closet. And this is just going to have us reflecting back on where it is that we have to kind of make peace with our past in order to enjoy our present and plan for the future, as well as there could be some legal matters, some contracts, some documents that have to be revisited in the 7th house as well. So my Aries friends are really having to reconsider their own wants, needs, and desires at this particular point in time, because the wants, needs, and desires of the partnership, the relationship, the group is needed more at this time than the individual efforts that my Aries friends are constantly trying to pursue. Now, on the 10th, we have the full moon taking place in Pisces energy in the 12th house that Pisces naturally rules over. This is when many of my Aries friends will reconnect with their higher selves. Sometimes my Aries friends get so focused on the goals, the visions, the dreams that they have, that they want to manifest, that they want to tackle, that they want to bring to life in this physical realm, that they forget to continue to consult their higher self, to listen to their intuition. It's almost like they get tunnel vision on being able to just go and assert oneself and aggressively just smash through the challenges and obstacles of the physical plane, not realizing that the intuition, our higher self, is asking for our attention in ways that many Aries friends miss. Now, the full moon in Pisces is a full illumination on how successful we've been in being able to bring some of our dreams to life, especially since the beginning of the year, but also illuminating where it is that we've been lacking in the healing department. Because this is the 12th house of the hidden realm, our unconscious self, our soul self, our spiritual lessons, it is likely that we are going to be slowed down by the universe in order to reflect back to see where it is that maybe we have to do a little bit more healing work on ourselves before we go ahead and pursue new paths, new chapters that didn't work out so well for us at the first place. The full moon in Pisces is going to have us very emotional, hypersensitive. We're picking up on all kinds of intuitive insights. We are tapping into a new level of creativity, a new level of our intuition, of our psychic abilities. And I feel like this is the reconnection to the higher self that my Aries friends need a good reminder of before they go pushing their way through life once again. On the 22nd, we have Libra season kicking off, which is also our fall equinox. This is a time for us to see where it is that we've been living in extremes and where it is that we need to restore the balance in our lives. Libra season, very focused on relationships, very focused on learning about ourselves through other people, very focused on trying to make peace with our past, our present circumstances in order to align us to make some harmony for our future self. The equinox kind of resets the even playing field for us to have a stabilized foundation to build off of. But Libra season will be highlighting the 7th house of relationships, of partnerships, of how it is that you're sharing yourself with the rest of the world. This is a true cry out in order to restabilize what it is that is being asked of you in your home and family dynamics, in your personal relationships. Again, my Aries friends have been hell-bent on a mission to really pursue their own dreams, their own goals, their own objectives since the beginning of their natal year. And some relationships have suffered because of it. This is going to be a time where we can reconcile, bring peace and harmony back to our relationship values, balance those scales, and get the support and encouragement that we need in order to redefine the path moving forward. Now, on the 23rd, we have Mercury going retrograde, but creeping back into this Virgo energy, into the 6th house. If you did not get a healthy exercise routine off the ground, this is going to be the time to do it. If you did not change your healthy habits in eating and diet, this is when you're going to do it. Whatever popped off for you since Mercury went retrograde in Libra will be fixed, will be resolved under this Virgo energy. This is a redo. This is a readjustment. This is a reworking of the tasks and chores, the roles and responsibilities in your daily life. If you, from the beginning of September, did not make the time to balance your mind, your body, your soul, you will be pushed, you will be squeezed, you will be abruptly reminded to do so when Mercury retrogrades back into Virgo energy. On the 25th, we have the new moon in Libra taking place in your 7th house. If you haven't recognized already, there's a huge emphasis, a huge intensity on the 7th house of partnerships, relationships, and how it is that you're sharing yourself with the rest of the world. The new moon in Libra provides us a beautiful opportunity to set some brand new intentions down on where it is that we're going to live a more balanced life, where it is that we're going to stop living in extremes, where it is that we want to make peace with certain circumstances, certain relationships in our lives, and what it is that we actually want to do to cultivate a little bit more nurturing, a little bit more self-love. We have Venus entering into her place of power in Libran energy on the 29th, also in the 7th house. This is where you're likely going to get your reality check on what is needed as far as the time, energy, and attention to pour back into you. This is about health and wellness, Mrs. and Mr. Aries. This is a time to put ourselves back together to a state of wholeness before you go rampaging and trying to achieve your next project, your next dream, your next vision, your next goal. Venus being in this Libran energy gives us a beautiful opportunity to recognize where it is that we need to nurture ourselves, where we need to love ourselves, where it is that we need the support of other people in order to actually reach our goals. And with all of this energy built up in the 7th house, you are going to see a true reconciliation, also a true reflection on where it is that you have to kind of pull back from your own wants, needs, and desires to consider the overall goals and objectives of the partnerships, of the relationships that you are currently connected to. So what I will say to you for the month is that there is a little bit more reflection needed, a little bit more readjustment needed before you go ahead and try to take over the world. Now, I know this is going to create an internalized conflict. Your heart and your head are never usually in agreement. You do have to slow down the ego in order to allow the spirit to lead you in this next chapter. Your heart chakra needs a little bit more attention, a little bit more healing. There is blockages as far as your creativity goes, because again, you've been too hell-bent on trying to make certain things happen, not realizing, not seeing the signs from your higher self, from the universe, trying to divert you in a different way. This is going to be a time to redefine what you're passionate about, what makes you happy, what brings you the most joy, and what it is that your heart and soul actually desires. I feel like because relationships are at the top of the list for you this month, you are going to see a brand new energy and emotion, a level of intimacy and connection take over in your personal relationships. I think that for the most part, there is a cycle coming to an end. So if you're in a committed relationship, I feel like you might be deepening this connection, this level of intimacy, maybe realigning with each other to identify goals as a couple, as a partnership. If you are single, this is a prime opportunity to connect with the right kind of romantic partners that I think would benefit you in, trying to help achieve your goals and your dreams. I feel like financially, there is a busting point, a breaking point that you will be reaching this month in realizing that maybe you need to revise your plans for your career, for your money matters, for your financial goals. When it does come to your career, I know that you are kind of running up into a couple of challenges and obstacles, mostly because Jupiter is retrograde in your sign, having you go back to April, May of this year, and what it is that you were aggressively trying to pursue and initiate that maybe didn't go so well. This is a chance for you to reflect and kind of readjust your goals and maybe how you would do things if you were given a second chance. And I know you feel very torn. I know you feel very frustrated, but this is a spiritual lesson of your inner strength, of your determination, of how passionate you actually are to see certain goals, visions, and dreams actually come into reality. But this is a month for you to recognize where it is that you have to return to wholeness, where it is you have to balance the scales within yourself, where there is a need, a time, a place, a need for aggression and assertion, and where there's a time and a space and a need to go with the flow and be receptive. And I think that where life is kind of throwing you a couple of curveballs right now, going with the flow is absolutely necessary. It would be an absolute shit show to be angry and frustrated over things that are outside of your control. So when it comes to your relationships, just kind of understand that, you have been on a solo mission, that maybe it is time to kind of check in with those that you love to see what it is that they want, need, or desire from you, and whether or not you're able to provide them with that while still kind of pursuing your own hopes, your own dreams. I feel like you do have to kind of step away and kind of isolate yourself in order to get your mind and your heart right again, to get your vibration and frequency good again. I think that the storm that came at you is slowly starting to pass, which means that you are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, but you should be kind of seeing where it is that you have to see things from a different perspective. Again, spiritual lessons coming at you with that full moon in Pisces in that 12th house. This is a beautiful time to reconnect with your vision, with your higher self, with your heart, with your soul, with the spiritual lessons at play, in order for you to contemplate the opportunities that you have to start again, to do a redo, to do a revision to some of your plans. Your intuition is your strongest asset. So why you dismiss it so often is still beyond me. I feel like you really do need to take a deep dive into your emotions right now, see what it is that is either blocking you from truly aligning with your higher self, what it is that's maybe preventing you from aligning with your intuition, and just see maybe what it is that you are so aggressively trying to pursue, what it is that you're actually running away from. There's a lot to contemplate this month, Aries. There's a lot to readjust, to rework, to redo. Luckily for you, the majority of this particular life lesson is an easy lesson in rebalancing the scales. First between your heart and your head, and then between you and the relationships that you pour your time, your energy, your love into. So that's all that I have for you for September, Aries. I hope you have a beautiful month, and we'll talk to you soon.